Love Blind. Let's get into it. Look, I'm just gonna say to y'all right now, I am so upset. I'm so upset. You know, I've been watching Love is Blind. You know, I don't typically watch a series all the way through, right? But this season, honey, I just wanted to watch it. And I thought, okay, hopefully they're gonna get it right. You know, things are gonna get better. I think they start off with like 5 couples like that are supposed to go on this honeymoon after they meet someone sight unseen in these pods. Let me just say this. The concept of this show, if you don't know, and I'm just gonna state this loosely, that you're supposed to meet these people in these pods. You can't see them. You talk about a lot of things. You get to know them, right? You know, you ask a lot of questions, and then, you know, when you find the one that you think is your person, you know, you ask them to marry, and it's sight unseen. Now, that's how it's supposed to be, right? But this last season, honey, something went sideways. I don't know what happened. They were talking about how they look. One person was talking about she looked like Megan Fox, and one guy, like Clay, Clay, he was like, I can't really make a commitment to you until I know how you look. That's not the concept of the show. This other person was like, you know, when you see me, you're gonna be all like, okay, I made a huge mistake. Trying to say, look, I'm a bad bitch, so, you know, you messed up, because when you see me, your mouth and your jaw is going to drop. I look that good, right? And so, but my point is this. That's not what the show is supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be about how you look, right? Or how someone looks. It's supposed to be about people finding each other and having this deep emotional connection, maybe, you know, an intellectual connection, maybe a spiritual connection, I don't know. But what I do know, it's not supposed to be about how you look, how tall you are, how thin you are, what color your eyes are, your hair. None of that. You know, it could be a little bit about what you do, you know, for work. It could be a little bit about like your financial, you know, stability, some of those things that you can talk about when you're trying to build a relationship with someone. Notice what I said. When you are trying to build a relationship with someone. Now, granted, these folks only got a little bit of time. I think there's only like 8 weeks, you know, 8 weeks, 4 weeks in the pod. And then you go on a honeymoon, and that's when you finally get to see your person. Well, that's like the second time that you finally get to see your person, but really get to spend time with them, right? Is on this honeymoon. And I think sometimes when that honeymoon moment happens, honey, that's when things start to unravel, people start to backtrack, and people are not the same sometimes. You know, I remember in the last season, I believe, one guy, you know, he was really good in the pods, but as soon as he got to the honeymoon, he didn't know how to communicate. He didn't know what to say. And I'm not really sure what the excuse is, but maybe he was shy, maybe he's introvert, maybe he just needed some coaching, I don't know. You know, but then there are other instances, you know, I think it was last season when so-and-so seemed so-and-so, and all of a sudden they're like, ooh, I like how he looks, right? I didn't choose him, but I like how he looks now that I'm seeing him. And the same thing happened for a few other people. It was like, ooh, I like this person. And then, you know, the other thing that gets me about this show, right or wrong, is that, you know, you choose one person, you go on the honeymoon, and then you like, oh no, that's not my person, honey. That's not my person. So I'm gonna come back to, I think it was Chicago, but I'm gonna come back home. And when I come back home, I'm gonna hit this person up. You know, I'm gonna go into their DMs and see if they're still interested. Because they seem like they would be interested, you know, since they were, you know, my second choice, not my first choice, because I didn't choose them. I didn't take them on the honeymoon, but they were, you know, like, still my, you know, very close second choice, right? So now I'm gonna reach out to them. Hopefully they'll reach back so that I can choose them. This, honey, happened several times in the last season. You know, I was like, wow, is that what the show is really supposed to be about? Because I thought it was about you finding your person sight unseen in the pods, going on a honeymoon, moving in together, working it out, and then getting married. I thought that's what the show was supposed to be about. I didn't know the show was supposed to be about like you get to have options. Look, I'm gonna put you over here and see how it works with this person over here, and I'm gonna have an option. I don't know that that's the right approach when you're trying to build a relationship with someone, that you have somebody in the background, you know, as your option, just in case this doesn't work. Let me tell y'all something. If anyone doesn't see you as a priority, if anyone doesn't see you as their top choice for a relationship, then honey, let them go. Don't even second guess it. Don't even think about it, because, you know, to me, anyone who has an option, or they think they have an option, are probably never going to fully commit to you. And that's just how it is. So let me talk about something that I really like about this show. There was only one little thing that I really liked about the show, and it was the people. It was Johnny and Amy. And everybody kept saying they're the strongest couple. But Johnny and Amy had real conversations, I believe. They talked about a lot of different things. And Johnny talked about this in the end, where he talked about how they talked about miscarriages. They talked about so many things. They talked about families, merging families. You know, his family loved her. Her family loved him. You know, they, to me, seemed like a couple that was really ready. Now, I could be wrong because only time will tell. But they did get married, and they seemed like the kind of couple that were really ready for a relationship, ready for a marriage, ready to start a family, ready to move in and build a, you know, buy a house together. They were the only one at the end of the day that I thought, okay, I think this couple is going to be all right. Now let me backtrack a little bit, because this Clay and AD situation, honey, let me just give her flowers, because she needs them. This woman was graceful, she was smart, she was beautiful, she was thoughtful, she was kind. And honey, when she said, you know, I'm tired of building these men up for them to let me down, I hear you, girl. That's exactly right. Don't build somebody up and put them on a pedestal just for them to let you down. You are better than that. You are more than that. You are worthy to be loved for who you are. And that's just the truth, right? This person was not ready. And this really right here piqued my interest in, would you rather be dumped in private or in public? And I talked about this on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, because to me, he did, Clay, let me just be very clear, did all the wrong things. He pretended that he was ready. He pretended he could go through it. And then he got up to the altar and started backtracking, talking about, you know, this has been a wonderful process. You've helped me through all this stuff. And then decided I'm not ready yet. Now this man, I'm gonna tell y'all from the get, I said this man ain't ready. And y'all want me to tell you a secret. One of the reasons why I knew Clay wasn't ready, because he never looked her in her face with a sincere look of, I'm your person, I'm here for you. He was always all over the place, fidgeting, looking around, could never look her straight in her eyes and tell her, I'm going to marry you. That's how I knew he wasn't ready. But he did something that I thought was really not necessary. He had that woman believing up until the day of the wedding that he was ready. And that's just not cool. It's not fair, and it's not necessary. So in my opinion, I, in that case, would have rather been dumped the day before. The day before, the week before, honey, whatever it was, but not at the altar, because I believe AD did everything she was supposed to do. And she's ready. Whether or not he's ready, that's on him, but she was ready. And I salute you, girl. Let me just say that. And let me just talk about another couple. Jimmy and this, I think it's Chelsea, I can't remember her name anyway, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The one that thinks she looks like Megan Fox, and who am I to judge, really? But Jimmy, I knew wasn't ready either. Jimmy is the typical, like, passive aggressive person who everything is about you. You didn't like that I screwed my friend, and I'm still very close to her. You didn't like that I like to go party. You didn't like, honey. You didn't like, and that's why we're not together anymore, because you didn't like. This is why I can't marry you, because you didn't like this, right? Now, the best thing that Jimmy did was call it off before they went to the altar. I think that's the best thing that Jimmy did on this show. Because if she would have been paying attention, she would have realized that man was not ever going to marry her. He was all talk and no show, let me tell y'all. So let me do this really quickly. Let me just go ahead and recap this whole show. Because we know what the concept of the show is. I'm not sure that the host and the producers and all the folks know what the concept of the show is supposed to be. Maybe they need to think about that, like rewrite the concept. Let's you can have an option if you need an option, whatever. So anyway, the recap is this. Amy, Johnny, they did that. And they did it very well. And they showed us, how real relationships could be. And I really, really wish them all the best. Now, AD girl, I salute you, queen, because you did what you were supposed to do. And you are a goddess. If no one tells you, and I know they have, and they will, you are a goddess. Now, I believe her name is Chelsea, and y'all forgive me if I'm getting this wrong. The one who, let's just call her Megan number 2. Let's just call her Megan, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Megan number 2, honey. Do what's best for you. Just do what's best for you. Don't worry about trying to make other people happy. Do what's best for you. And I think you'll be okay. So let me just say this, that do I believe love is blind? We've seen it too many times, and I don't know what the number is because I'm not counting of people who are successfully married today from this show, because the show has only been in 6 seasons from what I understand. And so to me personally, love is not blind. Not when you start to backtrack on what the intentions of the show is so that you can keep it moving. So let me just say this. You may think love is blind, but I know for damn sure love is not blind.